See if we can get this a little more front and center. There we go. All right. Welcome back, guys. Episode 25. If you didn't know, getting it through. Let's get this started, baby. What is going on, guys? Welcome back. Actually, we almost messed up. There we go. First retake of the series, actually. At least while we're doing it live. What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the Idols to Rivals podcast. And this is episode 25. We're a quarter of the way through the century, and actually, century meaning 100 episodes. But actually, that means we've only missed like every other week. So the consistency, although not all the way there, it will be there very soon. And so if you're wondering why the episode last week was not put on YouTube, it's because we did a dual podcast where I had my friend Brooks Sexton on, and we went back and forth, and actually we did it over Zoom. That's the way we discovered that you could do a group setting or a group podcast. And so we did that, and it actually filmed. If you don't know, if you've never used Zoom, it's like a video web, and I'm sure everyone has because of COVID, but if you film it, there's a record button in the corner. If you film it, it actually shows one camera, and then as soon as the other person talks, it shows the other camera. So it kind of switches back and forth. So it did work, except Brooks didn't have his video on, so it just went to a blank avatar. So next time we'll have it fixed. I have a lot more people that'll be coming on the podcast now that I know that it works, and now that everyone can get Zoom because it's free. And I haven't really figured out how to do multiple people. I think they said that you can use either Skype or WebEx or one of the other ones to do that, but it's only really audio. So for now, it's just going to be one person until we get it all figured out. But I wanted to start off with saying Happy Veterans Day to all the veterans out there and all the families of veterans. If you know a veteran, thank them. If you are friends with a veteran or anything like that, or know a family member of a veteran, thank them. It's a very important day. As I drink the first sip of many sips of water, but it's a very important day. Never forget the people that sacrificed everything that they dreamt of, everything that we kind of talk about on this podcast, all the dreams and hopes that we're all trying to build. A lot of people sacrifice that we have this opportunity. A lot of people sacrifice so you can go to the college you want to, or even the community college you didn't want to go to, but it's the only one you could get into or afford. A lot of people sacrifice, a lot of men and women sacrifice to even have that ability to do so, to even have the ability to walk outside and not have to worry about getting robbed or getting shot, or a war going around you, or an economy, or food on the table, or anything like that. And so it's always good to put that in perspective. And I always hope and pray that everyone respects that. Even though you may believe in different stuff, there's no excuse. I don't care who you are. I don't care what you believe in, blue, red. I don't care anything about that. You should always show respect to those that give everything so you can have those opinions, so you can vote this way you want to, so you can walk around and yell whatever you want at whoever you want, as long as it's not hurting other people or affecting other people. You have the right to do so. And so always remember that. And if you don't, you will not be in my life or anyone I know's life. So that won't even be an issue, but we won't go there because this is positive vibes only, as my coworker would say, positive vibes only. But yeah, so thank a veteran. It's one of the important ones. It's one that we a lot of people get off work for, and it's more than that, or school or whatever it is. It's more than that. It's these people. These people sacrifice everything sometimes, and most of the times it's their whole life. Most of the time it's whether it's a career, whether it's being the ultimate sacrifice of dying in the line of duty, or an accessory to the line of duty. It is very important to thank those, and to remember that the reason we can all do this is the reason we have the right to film things and record them and put them on the internet and have the freedom to do so is because of those people. So I hope you keep that in mind, because it is very important. And I really wanted to start with that message because it means a lot to me, it means a lot to my family, and it means a lot to everything. It means a lot to being free and having our rights and whatnot. So it's very important. And so, like I was saying, quarter of 100 episodes. So we will be getting to 100 hopefully faster this time, because like I said, we're about 11th, halfway through the 11th month. So we're very close to the end. So there should be about 6 more episodes. And so if we get to 30 episodes, that means 52 weeks in a year. That means we only missed 20 episodes, which, like I said, is not a great ratio, but for starting a podcast, January 24th. I'm pretty impressed with it, so I'm pumped about it. But yeah, look forward to more podcasts coming out with other people. I hope you guys liked it. It was easily my most viewed podcast within the first day, within the first 48 hours, which was fun because a lot of people wanted to hear other sides and not just me talking. So that was really exciting to see. And there's a lot more coming. And this is a lot of growth that is coming very quickly. So I'm excited about it, and we're going to continue to grow. We're going to continue to do things the right way, and we're going to make things better and improve. And so I wanted to kind of talk about this whole vaccine that's coming out. So I don't know if you've noticed, but the stock market has been doing great because there's been election news, there's been vaccine news, like 90% is effective for Pfizer Pharmaceuticals, which, if you don't know, is a blue chip pharmaceutical conglomerate, and they've announced that they are not, as I think it's a 90% effective rate. And so all I know is I don't care who orchestrated it. I don't care who found it. If this is what people need to not be afraid and keep businesses from closing, then I'm all for it. Like I said, I don't care who backed it. I don't care who funded it. As long as it works and keeps people healthy and brings us back to a sense of normalcy, I think it's all for the best. And so hopefully we'll be done with these masks. I think with everybody saying the spike's coming with flu season because it's getting cold, maybe. But I think that hopefully these vaccines are the real deal and they get the job done, and so we can continue to go about our lives. Because I was talking to some family members about just wanting to go to like a baseball game or a hockey game, or just go to the movie theater. Just go out is just it's such a blessing, and that's been missed. And I'm ready to get back to normal. I know a lot of people are. It is just being able to hang out with people, being able to not worry about, oh, where's your mask? Normally it's phone, wallet, keys before you out or after you leave a bar, and it's like phone, wallet, keys, mask. And I hate having to do that. It is not normal. It's not how it should be. And things will be getting better soon. I truly believe that. And it's crazy how far we've come. And I know a lot of these podcasts, I say that I'm not really going to talk about COVID, but it's hard not to whenever this entire life cycle of this podcast has been COVID. I mean, I started this, it was the day after Kobe died. So the 24th of January, I believe, or late January. And sorry, my voice is a little hoarse. I've been talking all day at work. So we're going to knock this out, and then I'm resting my voice. But we started after Kobe had passed in January. So it really, this podcast, the whole life cycle, it's been during COVID. There was only about a month and a half that COVID wasn't really a thing. I remember everyone talking about it, but it didn't really come to the States until March 15th, I think is when everything closed down, or March 13th, around then. So it's kind of been a life cycle, or this has kind of been a chronicle of the life cycle of COVID, which is very weird. I think looking back, hopefully in 1,000 episodes from now, there'll be some memories about how it used to be and how things have gotten better. And another thing I was looking at recently is, this is kind of a random segue, is like, have you ever been driving? And I think I was driving to work, and it's just like you have that gut feeling of like, what if I just swerved into another car, or what if I just swerved off the road? And I think it's because texting and driving has obviously been a huge issue ever since texting became the more popular mode of communication. And I've seen multiple times where you're driving behind somebody and you're like, it's 2:00 in the afternoon, and you're like, okay, hopefully they're not hammered. And then you pass them because they're swerving in the other lane. And my best bet is either stay far behind them or try to get around them as quick as possible. So if they do wreck, you're way ahead of it. And so when you pass somebody and you're like, is this person fucked up? And then you look at them and it's like, nope, they're head down on their phone, one hand palm barely on the steering wheel, not looking at the road. And they just like, oh, they correct. And they're like, oh, there we go. All right, back in the lane, barely. And I just find it crazy that people are so comfortable driving with their phones out. And I mean, I do it too. I'll send a text off. I try not to do it, especially to the point of like, I have one of those mounts in the cars that goes on your dash that you put your phone on, and people call me an Uber driver for it, but it works perfectly for navigation. And so even that is better than having either one or two hands on your phone texting and looking down completely. And it's just like the amount of people that get into wrecks from texting is absolutely crazy. And you know when you're behind them and you see the soccer mom mobile, those big QX Infinities that could rival a tank if it hit it or knock down a building, and you just see them swerve back. And that got me thinking, it's just I think I saw a TikTok too, where it's like, why do humans have that urge, where you're like driving and you're like, damn, what if I hit that tree right now? Or if you're like, oh wow, what if I just swerved in front of this car? Like you just replay that over and over in your mind when you're driving. I think that's one of the weirdest phenomenons. I think I heard someone call it like the call of the void, which is super ominous and super out there. And I don't know what to think about that. I think it kind of represents it a little bit, but let me know if you know what I'm talking about. In regards to that kind of weird feeling and just weird stuff people do. And like I said, TikToks and Twitter are great for that, where you realize that people are just as screwed up as you are, and go through a lot of the same thoughts and things like that. So it's very interesting to see things verbalized that you always have in your head. Like if you those thoughts that you think are kind of exclusive to yourself, but they're not. They're like I said, you think they're exclusive, but other people think it. When you see it verbalized or put into a video or online with a million likes or whatever it is, you're kind of like, I wasn't the only one to think that, or I didn't make that up. It's just a normal human thought. It's very, very fascinating to me. And another thing is this, and these are all just gonna be random rants today because that's how we do it. Like I said, we'll be prepping for next week and a guest next week. It might be Brooks again. It might be somebody else. But this whole thing of like, how do people live by, I wouldn't say like by themselves, but there's like the mole people in Las Vegas, which if you haven't seen, Barstool, Wonton Don does a great documentary about the mole people that live under the Las Vegas Strip. And so whether they be heroin addicts or they owe gambling debt or anything like that, it's very fast. That is always fascinating to me, whether it be people just living on the street or people like that are in hiding, living under, gutters and stuff like that. And the catacombs in Paris are something that fascinates me and also scares the shit out of me. I've thought about like, what would it be like to go down there? But I think there's a movie about it, like As Above, So Below. I can't imagine. I'm claustrophobic. I cannot imagine being 6 miles under the Paris streets with no way to get out, and just having no clue. Like you may have a guide or whatever, or you may retrace your steps, but having to find your way out would be absolutely horrifying. And especially you don't know who's down there. You don't know what they're doing. And I don't know, but that's kind of off topic. But yeah, the people that live on the street or these people that like build huts in the woods away from like a city. I wouldn't say woods, but a little bit away from a city where they can walk in and out, whether they need to panhandle or anything like that, and live in like tubs or live in tents and stuff like that, and just having to live on the street. It's sad that people have to get to that point, and whether it be illness or their family disowns them or things like that, it's such a fascinating is not really the right word, but it's such a, I don't know, it just like sends chills down my spine thinking about people have to live on the street, have to fend for themselves, have to worry about getting stabbed while they're asleep. You sleep on heaters. And if you've ever been to New York or a big city like that where they have heaters blowing up, you'll see homeless people, or even Nashville, Tennessee is another good example. When it gets really cold, they have heaters that blow up air from whatever's going on underneath the ground. I'm not going to act like I know how ductworks work and things like that, but you'll see them, they'll sleep during the day so they can get some rest because they don't have to worry about getting jumped or getting their shoes stolen or things like that, or whatever money they do have. And it's crazy to think that could be anybody, that is someone's son, that is someone's daughter, that is someone, a veteran, that is someone who's successful at one point, got addicted to drugs, had a gambling problem, whatever it is. It's crazy they were born like us for the most part. They were born from two parents. That's the only way that can happen if you didn't know. And now they're on the street. Now they don't know where they're getting their next meal. That is just something fascinating to me. And documentaries about it are just very interesting to me. And I don't know if it's just a human nature thing. I don't know if it's just curiosity. I don't know what it is, but that phenomenon is kind of crazy. And I think what sparked my interest in this is, so as we know on this podcast, and as I'll say it 100 times until I manifest it into reality, trying to move to LA whenever I can, as soon as humanly possible, as soon as I can make it work. And just hearing a lot of stories about, whether it be a podcast or about these people that made it and talking about how they slept in their car. And a lot of them, it was in LA. They slept in their car until they made ends meet and things like that. And that's what I'm trying to avoid. That's why I'm trying to save some money at the moment. And have enough to where you get there and have a stable footing, which takes a lot. It takes a long time to get that kind of money because it's expensive. I mean, I think West Hollywood, I watched a video on it just as some research. It's like $2,200 a month to live. And that's not including food. That's not including parking. That's not including Ubers. That's not including whatever it is. That's crazy. That is absolutely crazy. I mean, my apartment in Tuscaloosa, an expensive one is from $800 to $1,000. So that's double. That's 120% more every month. It's wild. So figuring out those numbers is crazy. And that kind of puts into perspective when you see all these people moving out to LA, it puts into perspective kind of what that really means and what that really having an understanding of what the realistic number is, because it starts with that goal. It starts with that goal of like, okay, I want to move to LA. I want to move to Atlanta. I want to move to Miami. And then you're like, okay, well, what does that take? Well, it's super far away. That's just the drive. Figure out how far it is. I figured out how far it is. It's almost exactly 2,000 miles away from my house. All right, check. Bet. How much is it going to cost to live there? How much do I need to make in order to survive there? That's the thing. That's the question. And so once you kind of break down your goals into tiny steps, or there was a book that called it Eating an Elephant One Bite at a Time. Like, how do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time. Because when you look at it, you're like, that's going to take forever. It's chipping away at it. Like, I had the dream of living in LA for a long time since I was, I think, a senior in high school, or maybe even longer than that. So 6 years, 7 years, probably a little bit longer than that. But it's like, okay, I want to live there. I have a picture of it. I know what it looks like. I know where it is geographically, but what will it take to actually get there? How far do I need to drive? All right, what's a moving truck going to cost? Okay, maybe we don't need a moving truck. Maybe we just fill up my car full of shit and go. How much does it cost to live there? How much is average utilities? Things like that. Once you break it down, you really get an aspect of what you need to live there. So $2,000 a month is what, $24,000 a year. So you need to make $24,000 a year, preferably double it, $48,000 a year would be fantastic, so that you get rent and you have savings and things like that. So once you break down these goals, it kind of turns into something more realistic and more tangible. And so I think that is one of the aspects that's helped me a lot, is breaking it down. And I'm listening to this book called The Confidence Gap, and I'm pretty early into it, and about 3 hours, and I think it's an 8-hour book, and it's just about setting realistic expectations. And so I've done a lot of the whole reading about manifesting, Tony Robbins and things like that, but now I'm also trying to get the polarity of, okay, be realistic, be self-aware, things along that nature. And I think that can be a very valuable thought process, or very valuable thought exercise for people, is getting that yes, believe, and get those manifestations, get those affirmations in you, so you believe fully that you can do it and you can make it happen. And then you get the realistic side. You get the, okay, it's realistic to have negative thoughts. It's realistic to be afraid. Like, once again, I mean, I do this podcast once every 2 weeks statistically, but I try to do it every week, and it's still nerve-wracking. It's still, okay, what am I going to talk about? It's still turn on the mic, get the lights set up, and go for it. And so it is having that realistic. Once you know that, like, everyone thinks, holy shit, can I do this? Or I don't believe in myself every now and again. It kind of it's a sobering thought, and it really helps to get kind of the jitters out, because I've realized that a lot of my stresses come from the step one, come from from the start line to moving that first foot. If we're using like a race analogy, is the start, is the approach, is the cold approach, the cold call, whatever you want to call it. It's that once I get rolling, once I get that momentum, once I get to step two, I'm good to go. I know what I need to do. I've locked in, and I've got it. And so I've been trying to hone that craft of getting things started. And for this podcast, it's just hitting play. For you, it might be taking that photo. For someone else, it might be studying for that test. You have no idea what you're going to do. Just study one page. Just get that one page. And that's been the toughest thing for me, is once I get the first step down, I get done what I need to get done. And I feel like such a sense of accomplishment. So knowing that, and really shaving away at who you are will really lead to getting more things done. And it's that whether it could be fear, it's that doubt of just that first step, whether it be uploading a video, whether it be hitting record on a podcast. for me anyway, or starting to read that book or going to work out. It's that first step. Once I'm there, I'm good to go, but it's getting that first step. And for some people, it's the complete opposite. Some people, they jump into things, and then the middle step of working on it, they fall apart, or they work on it forever and they don't finish. And for them, it's a completely different set of circumstances. They can walk straight up to that girl or guy and not really care about it, but they fumble at the very end, or they get nervous and talk themselves out of it as soon as they start getting kind of traction in the conversation, or studying for the test, and they kind of shoot themselves in the foot. So kind of look at yourself. I look at it as like 3 stages of like, I guess we could do it like a cold approach. You starting the kickoff, and you have the middle stages where you're building and crafting and editing and fixing. And then closing is where you finish it off, is where you put the dot the I's, cross the T's, and you send it off, you upload it, you talk to that person, you study for that test, whatever it is, you apply to that school. It's finding out what you rank in those stages, whether it be like me, where stage 1 is kind of the toughest, or your stage 2 or stage 3, or your 1's really good and your 3's really good, your 2's really bad, or your 2's really good, your 3's pretty good, and your 1 is not that great. It's finding that out. And it took me a while to figure out that that's kind of the way I think about it, is how to achieve things, is just kind of getting past that first hurdle will help me succeed. Because like I said, once I get past that first hurdle, I can get things going, and momentum is a powerful thing. And that's why I try to keep it up. Like I said, I was nervous I wasn't going to try to film this podcast today, because I was like, oh, I don't have time, blah, blah, blah. And these are just excuses that I got off the hook as a confidence gap, which you should check out. I got off the hook of excuses and got it done, and turned on all the lights, got everything ready to go. Because I knew that if I did this, I would be happy. If I didn't do it, I'd be pissed. And I just knew that I'd be better than that. And so that's kind of the goal of this. And today, even like on Veterans Day, is just thinking about the bigger picture, and whether it be, like I said, thanking a veteran, and just thinking about the biggest picture of humankind and society and the world we live in as a whole, something like that. Or whether it be your own goals of being an artist, or being a accountant, or being a lawyer or doctor. It's just realizing that it's the tiny steps that once you get those going, and once you understand how you work and can perfect it, and know your shortcomings and know your strengths, that's when you can just really attack things and get things done. And like I was saying, I'm super excited about it, and we will continue to grow every day. 25 episodes in, super pumped about it. We're getting better every time. At least I'd like to think so. I'm not even gonna bullshit around. We are getting way better than we were, and I'm excited about it. Like I said, more people will be coming on soon. I appreciate you guys for listening. This has been Jack Hummell with the Idols to Rivals podcast. That is Jack Hummell with 2 M's and 2 L's. If you could give me a subscribe on YouTube. We're almost at 30 subscribers. I'm pumped, trying to get to 100 so I can change my channel name to Jack Hummell, and it's not just a bunch of letters and numbers. I look like a hacker typed it in. And follow me on Instagram and talk to me, and let me know if you like the episode, what I can improve on, what you thought was good, what you thought was bad. And I really do appreciate you guys listening. I hope you have a good one. Get after it. And like I said, thank a veteran. This is a very important day, and they give us our freedoms and our ability to do all these stupid things that we do, and all the things that we care about, and all the fun that we can have. So hope you guys have a good one. Stay blessed, and attack everything. All right. After hours. God, my voice is not doing well right now. It's almost like I've been talking for 12 hours, but yeah, kind of to go a little bit deeper. I should probably announce on the next one. Let me write this down. 25. There we go. Look at that first note of episode 26. But yeah, so it's important. Just kind of getting in a rhythm. And like I said, it's the cold approach for me. It's the walking up. It's the taking the start. It's doing that for me and getting better at that. Like I said, I know people that are great at that. I know people that'll walk straight up to a girl and not give a shit about what happens. Or I know people that can close, but as soon as they start, like they can't start the conversation. I know people that can talk to anybody, but they can't can't walk up to talk to a stranger. They can talk to their friends and tell great stories, but as soon as they kind of lock up whenever they talk to someone else. And like I said, you can apply that to anything, whether it be talking to people, whether it be trying to build relationships professionally, trying to get into a school, study for an exam, get into an art class. I don't know, anything it really could be. But I hope you guys enjoyed. This one's going to be a little bit shorter. I got to edit some things, but I hope you guys liked it. I really do appreciate you guys for listening. There'll be more coming. This is going to get better and better. And I'm investing some time and some money into this so we can go after these goals and really start kick it off and start getting these things done. And I don't know if anybody's used these, but these Crest like white strips, I think I got the off-brand ones because they were cheaper, are kicking ass. Like, I don't know if you can tell. Let me see. Like, those bitches are pearly white. So I recommend get the Walmart basic version. I don't know what version I have, but get those. It comes with like 12 instead of 7. It's like half the price. And those things work just if you're into that. But this has been a random one. I appreciate it. I can't wait to see you for another 25 more and 100 more for that. And we'll keep getting better. Like I said, attack everything. Just go after it, get it done. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace and stay safe.